Hi, dear parents. No, I'm not in costume. This is my clothing for today. We had an 80s theme high school prom today, so I wore this pretty much the whole day and taught the kids like this. So I thought, why break the tradition? Might as well continue teaching like that. For math, I don't stop. I keep teaching it. Anyways, today I'm going to teach a very not a difficult topic, but an interesting one. It's basically how to find the square roots of imperfect numbers. This is a skill that's not taught in many schools. In fact, most public schools don't even teach this skill. However, I've taught this skill to the kids today, and I think it's very valuable, it's good to know, and it's something that makes them stand out from others. So let me teach you how to do this skill today. So take a look. We have here the square root of 13. Now, we know how to do perfect square roots. Perfect square roots are like the square root of 16, which is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Those are all called perfect square roots. But what do we do when we get a problem like this? Square root of 13. How do you start? Well, there are 4 steps to do this problem. Let me show you step number 1. Step 1. We've got to find out what's the closest perfect square root to the number 13. So we do 1 times 1, which is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 4 is 16. Which one of these perfect square roots are close to the number 13? And just by looking at it, we can immediately guess that 3 times 3 is the closest perfect square root. So in step number 1, we have decided which perfect square root we're going to use to solve this problem. And it's going to be the square root of 9, which is equal to 3. Step 1, done. Let us now go to step 2. Step 2. In step number 2, we're going to take this answer from step number 1 and we're going to divide it. So we're going to do 13, which is right over here, the square root, which we're trying to find out, and we're going to divide 13 with the number 3, which is part of our perfect square root. And the kids know the technique. They're going to use DMT to solve this. I'll use my shortcut technique just for the time limits. So we know that 3 times 4 is 12, 3 and 1, 3, 9, 1, 0, 3, 2. 13 divided by 3, the kids will use DMT, I use a shortcut, is equal to 4.33. Step number 2, done. We have this answer, we're going to use it now in step number 3. I'm going to erase this off and do step number 3 right over here. So 4.33 is our answer. And in step, this pen never works. In step 3, we're going to take the answer from step number 2, which was 4.33. And I'm going to add it to the perfect square root, which was what? It was the square root of 9, which is 3. So, I am going to take this number and add it to 3.00. In other words, I'm just adding it to 3. And now, I'm going to solve. 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 plus 0 is 3. Decimal, decimal. 4 plus 3 is 7. So the answer for step number 3 is 7.33. I just took my answer from step number 2 and I added to the perfect square root which we used in step number 1, which is the number 3. So that's my answer. And now we're coming to the final step. I'm going to use this answer for step number 4. And in step number 4, I'm going to take my answer, 7.33, and I'm going to divide it by 2. Always. We always divided by 2 in step number 4. And now, again, the kids will use DMT. In this case, they're going to use the step 1, step 2, step 3, Mr. Bunny, Mrs. Bunny technique. Step 1, get rid of the decimal point. Step 2, use DMT. I'm going to use my shortcut. So 2 times 3 is 6, 1, 13, 6, 12, 1, 13, 6, 12, 1, was it 13, 1, so 0, 5. So, after doing DMT for step number 2, my answer is 366.5. And in step 3, we're going to bring back our decimal point. We're going to use Mr. Bunny, which is in my other video. And we're going to see how many jumps does it take for him to reach the decimal point. Mr. Bunny will jump 1, 2. So we go back to our answer. Start from the decimal point, which is right over here. And we're going to jump to the left. 1, 2. So, the square root of 13, we are estimating here. The square root of 13, we believe, is equal to 3.665. And to know for sure that our answer is correct, we can use a calculator. We can actually use split technique, but that'll take forever. You can use a calculator. You can take this number and square it. 3.665 times 3.665. And the answer should be very, very close to 13. And this is how you find the square root of imperfect numbers. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is a technique not many kids know about, but your kids now do. All right, thank you.